Good afternoon. I am Stefano Carpani. I'm a psychoanalyst and a sociologist. And since a couple of weeks, I am talking to you about books that are of my interest, that changed my life. This week, I want to share with you this book by Hungarian philosopher Ágnes Heller, who died last summer 2019. The title is The Time is Out of Joint, Shakespeare as Philosopher of Time. In my own work, I'm very interested in time. What is time? One could said, as my training analyst György Lukács said, that time doesn't exist. Well, in this case, Ágnes Heller looked at Shakespeare, at the whole work of Shakespeare, which is already an amazing, incredible thing to do. Ágnes Heller, who was György Lukács pupil, she worked with him in Budapest, in Hungary, until she had to leave the country because she was seen as a traitor by the communist government. So she went to New York and she taught as Hannah Arendt professor at the New School in New York. In the introduction, Ágnes Heller writes, "The time is out of joint," says Hamlet. The time is out of joint, absolutely. One can be born to put it right. It's very interesting, the concept to put right time out of joint. Isn't this actually what psychoanalysis do? And then she continues, at least one can believe that one is born to put it right, to put time right, as Hamlet and Henry VI do. Or one can willingly assume the responsibility to put it right, as Cordelia does. Yet, all these approaches will fail. This is why I think of time of out of joint and to put time right in connection with psychoanalysis. When the time goes out of joint, we need psychoanalysis. Also because many sociologists, many philosophers think that the word is out of joint. The word has gone mad. I don't think that the word is out of joint and has gone mad. The word has been always out of joint and mad. Although time is not set right in the sense of being returned to its former place, new men usher in new times. Then, Ágnes Heller underlines, only in some comedies will time be set right to everyone's satisfaction, sometimes even for the villains, as in All You Like It. She continues to underline that the actor, Shakespeare among them, Shakespeare as an actor, enter and exit the theater stage. We all, as individuals, enter and exit the theater stage. The theater stage is home to another four-dimensional stage. It is the stage of history, the worst stage of historical time. It is the stage of life, of a lifetime. In the history plays, and in some of the tragedies and comedies, it is the stage of political time, as my friend Andrew Samuel will enjoy. Finally, it is the stage beyond the stage of the naked existence where there is no time. And we go back to György Lukács and the fact that time doesn't exist. Ágnes Heller continues to say, the time is out of joint. There is always reason and unreason in histories. Time is out of joint when reason and unreason are heterogeneous, when actors do not understand what they are doing and understand even less what others are doing or have done. Isn't this sentence very true right now in 2020, looking at the political stage, looking at the social stage, after the pandemic, before the new US election, with Russia being aggressive, with China being aggressive, with the US being aggressive. What is interesting for me is in this book is also another very important point, who is part of Ágnes Heller work. And it's the work on doubts, the concept of doubt. She underlined, Mortimer is dead, and there is no witness alive. Only earls and dukes who believe, or want to believe, in some version of the story. It's interesting that we always believe in some version of the story. And again, this is why psychoanalysis is so important, to look at different versions of the story, or to look at the story from different point of views. Here comes the importance of the gray cells. Shakespeare portrays man and woman who act on the grounds of their beliefs and pretended beliefs. They perceive as truth what they desire to be true. This is the truth for them. Very few things can be established beyond reasonable doubt. Very few things can be established beyond reasonable doubt. And nothing can be established without doubt. Hamlet is the only representative Shakespearean character who wants to have the whole truth. He does not tolerate the merger of fiction and fact. He is the exact opposite of Othello. He wants to have the truth without interpretation. He wants absolute verification. This is absolutely impossible. For me, it's also very interesting when Ágnes Heller underlines the difference between fate and providence. Fate as destiny, as, it just happened to me, and providence, God willing, something that has a bigger reason. She also talks about awakening. Awakening is a religious metaphor for becoming another man. And then she writes, Henry reinvents himself only once. Then he develops his abilities. He becomes what he was. Hamlet finally becomes a person who does not reinvent himself any longer, but subjects himself to providence. This is very Jungian. To become more whole, become more spiritual in Jungian terms, is actually to subject oneself to providence. The more one inspects one's own soul, and the more virtuous one is, the more vices, the more horrible habits will he discover hidden deep down in his character and his mind. Isn't this what Carl Gustav Jung called the shadow? In conclusion, for Shakespeare, who then look at name and face, for Shakespeare, name and face have a broader symbolic significance, for they are not only symbols of identity, recognition, but also guidelines for self-identification. Look at Hamlet, who is the son of Hamlet, who becomes mad because he's not able to become free. Absolute free, I would say. Hamlet notices this, that he is the son of Hamlet, and he cannot escape that. Hamlet notices this, and it worries him. He is his name, yet he is not just his name, he is also face. Hamlet was never to face the choice of Harry, to change face, to become someone else in order to live up to the full significance of his name. Well, to become oneself is the task, isn't it? As Jung would say. But to do so, one must know himself. Without knowing ourselves deeply, the task cannot be finished. Read this book, buy this book, enjoy this book. Bye-bye.